What are some common ways that you see with cognitive behavioral therapy? I mean, you've mentioned already previously kind of like negative self-talk, kind of the inverse of a lot of these hacks, but what are kind of the common things that maybe people are doing wrong that causes them to be less resilient?
Yeah. So there are something called ANTs, ANT, and it's automatic negative thoughts. So it really comes down again to that negativity. Because when we talk cognitive behavioral, it's simply that our thoughts, cognitions is just a fancy word for thoughts. So cognitive, cognitions, our thoughts create our self talk, right? In other words, I didn't go to the gym. I'm looking chubby. I need to, get slimmer. So what am I saying to myself? Like, how is that going to be helpful? It's naturally going to generate crappy feelings, like of low self-worth, of not looking good. So what's going to happen? It's going to dictate my behavior on how I live my life, which is absolutely going to affect my mindset and my resilience. So we have there's a list of automatic negative thoughts. It's like catastrophizing, black and white thinking, all or nothing thinking. And so when I work with clients with this is kind of sometimes how we start depending on where they're coming in. And we'll go through this whole list. It's like, not do you do it, have you done it? It's like, is this a consistent thinking pattern?
Hmm.
And so what the ultimate goal is to shift the thinking patterns, right? So stopping the negative thoughts. Yes, again, as I said to you earlier, negative thoughts come naturally for you, for me, even like I say, even the Dalai Lama has negative thoughts, right? And but how we manage them determines the outcome of our own lives. And that's where I say to people, that's why it's so worth it that it's in your control to shift your own mindset. You just got to do the work. And the work is not that hard. So, that's the whole thing of those that automatic negative thoughts and sort of just recognizing your own thought patterns. And sometimes we spend some time talking about where those thought patterns come from, and more often than not, it's from childhood experiences and like
Hmm.
what we thought our parents might have been saying to us or what we thought of ourselves, maybe comparing ourselves to siblings or friends or whatever, but they're these, sort of set in thought patterns that need to shift because they're dictating how we respond to these different things that happen in life.
So then I guess that would be the exercises, it sounds like to me, might be very common to all the different clients, and just kind of thinking what works, what doesn't. But kind of that's where that experience with the therapist can help, is like what are those embed thoughts so that you can recognize them before they start popping up and on replay over and over and over again.
And what can you do about them? Like there's something called a thought record and it has 7 columns. So again, you start going down, say, like you're catastrophizing and um, you stop it, but then you realize, okay, I need to do this thought record. So it's like these 7 columns, at least that's the one I use. And first one says like, tell me what the thought was. Oh yeah, I'm a failure. I suck as a provider. You go on and on about kind of where that led you, but you share a little bit more in that column about like where were you, what was going on, because some of those things could be indicators as to why you go down that road. And then it's like, how do I feel? And so you say on a scale of 0 to 100%, like where are you in your mood, whatever. And you can write some notes in there too. And then you give evidence for those thoughts, evidence against those thoughts, right? And what's another way that you can articulate that same thing, but a little bit more positive, a little bit less self critical, right? And I tell people, don't say what you think I want to hear, say what you think you could say and believe it, because that's what you want to do, right? If you're going to shift your mindset, you need to have different language, right? You're choosing a different lens through which you're viewing things, but it has to be in a way that is palatable to you and that you're going to believe. And then at the very end, the 7th column asks, so how do you feel now? And I say to my clients, again, some people feel worse. So just be honest about how this whole processing of your thought pattern made you feel, right? So it's this recognition that I have this thought pattern. Where's it coming from? Why am I doing it? Where's the evidence? And then sometimes they go, well, there's no real evidence for it. So I get what you're saying, but so it's kind of fun to go through it and them to realize how they're perpetuating their own thought patterns.